Right. I just wanted to, there's only one item on the team demo, but I did want to share it because I have a hard time estimating how valuable it is, how valuable it would be to work on. Let me try and share my screen. That's not what I meant to show. So created this issue about including the Patroni SLIs into the air budget for stage group. So that would basically mean the SLIs that we currently use to monitor the Patroni servers, which were these ones that are currently on my screen.
I don't know if it's my connection, but like the resolution is very poor. Like I can see your screen.
No, it's not your connection. It's Zoom screen sharing is broken, so I'm using OBS Studio to create a virtual camera with what is on my screen, but I don't know. So that's apparently not working very well. Let me stop sharing then.
It's kind of usable. You can kind of read.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can carry on.
So the idea is I want to include these kind of SLIs into the error budget for stage groups. So that's here query durations and I think only query durations for the primaries and the secondaries into the error budgets for stage groups. Because then like if slow queries get triggered too often, that would be visible there. The problem with this, like as you can see, these things already have a feature category on them. So we could, if we change this to feature category and source metrics, like the magic string, then these things would feed into the error budget, and like everybody would be very happy because we do a lot of fast queries all of the time, and those would like hide everything else in the budget. And the thing that I was thinking about to make this possible was weighting SLIs. So we could say, for example, these SLIs only weigh, I don't know, a tenth of what a request weighs, for example. I don't know about these numbers. So yeah. Does anybody have thoughts on if we should do that, if it's going to be too complicated for people to understand, or if it's going to, if it's even valuable to have these kind of more hidden things included in the budget for stage groups?
Sorry, I joined a little bit late, but I'm curious. I saw this meeting and I was just curious. How are you attributing like SQL request duration to individual stage groups? How is that being done?
So we have feature categories on endpoints, right?
Yes.
Feature categories, as soon as a request starts, we kind of push a feature category onto a context, and everything that happens within the cycle of that request gets the label of that feature category. So that gets emitted in logs, in metrics,
in metrics as well. And yeah. I can see this now. I don't think I've ever even seen this.
Yeah, you can see this now.
Okay. Okay, so if I like pull up request duration for Patroni, I can see stage groups.
If you pull up the GitLab SQL primary duration seconds bucket, then like the metrics, you will see them. And the Patroni logs, I think we do this fancy thing with what's it called? Yeah, it should be there, like in a comment, like because we annotate, like we send that over to the database and so on, if I remember correctly.
And right now we're just not doing anything with that label on our Patroni dashboard, right? Like, do we have no? And that's what this is sort of about, right?
You can see it, like if you expand the details, you will see.
Yeah.
You will see that like which feature category has the slowest queries. But yeah, we only look at that during an incident, and then
I see. And this is kind of about like assigning weights to each stage group.
No, this is about assigning weights, and this leads into like right now we kind of have weights for things that we do in the general SLA dashboard and so on. But there's also an issue about having like an internal or like trying out an internal measurement of general availability, not using time, but using events.
I see.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know because just like a minute ago, I read the issue and I'm just catching up on the context, but yeah, I think I understand. Yeah.
So yeah,
Like, yeah, monitor GitLab availability using occurrences-based metrics rather than time-based averages. That
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I just skimmed it.
Yeah, like that's not something I've started, but we would need weights for that. We already have weights for services defined somewhere. Like for example, the registry, which receives a lot of super fast requests, has a lower weight than the web. For example, I think we use 2 weights now, 5 and 1. I don't know why they are there or where they come from, but that's what we do. So yeah, my proposal would be to like the error budgets are event based. Error budgets for stage groups are event based. So the whole thing is how many events were good over how many total events were they, and that's the availability number. But now if you want to start including things like the database into that, then like yeah, we need to weight that. But then it becomes very hard to explain because I'm already having trouble now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so wondering what people's thoughts are, if it's something we should explore or not, or if there's better avenues to get stage groups focus on database queries and performance than performance of database queries. The same goes for Git calls in the end.
Is the plan that you will have a single aggregated metric and this weight will work as a factor as to how each SLI
contribute more or less. Exactly. We already have a single metric, but the numbers have lined up well enough that it works. Like for most groups, this just means requests from Rails and Sidekick jobs. And the numbers are similar enough, so one doesn't outweigh the other.
I kind of think this is very useful for reporting, but maybe not super helpful for like troubleshooting, right? Like
well, troubleshooting, not like it wouldn't affect the way we look at a single SLI on a dashboard. It's more like if we include this into the budget, into the overall number, and like we could have people can now say that a request is allowed to take up to 5 seconds. If all of these things include queries that take 5 seconds, then one is going to be good, but that's really not healthy for the database. So then we need to have one that is a little bit more
I wonder if that's more an issue of how you set up each SLI, like maybe what needs to be adjusted here are the threshold within an SLI, but each SLI has the same weight. It's just that maybe this SLI is more permissive with its specific metric because of X or Y reason. But like if right, it's like, as you said, like what constitutes an acceptable database request time is different to what constitutes an acceptable web pages time. But then what you need to adjust there is the threshold of each SLI, but maybe not the weight of each SLI.
But the thresholds for the SLI are already different.
Right.
But if you have like if you have a request that takes 5 seconds and inside that request you're doing 1,000 database queries that take less than 100 milliseconds, then you would score very well. And that's why I'm proposing the weights, like because we perform a lot more queries than we do requests.
Because what we have right now is that, because what I'm wondering is what's the problem that we're trying to solve, and my understanding is that right now we don't have a problem because everything it lines up.
Well, there was there was we right now we don't have a problem, but if we wanted to, like, the thing we want to end up with is people looking at database queries that they are writing, and if they are going to perform well, if they like need to add indexes after the fact, that kind of stuff. So we want people paying attention to that before we have an incident. We have a lot of like slow query kind of incidents, I think, like a slow query and patroning, database logs, that kind of stuff. So we're basically looking for a way to get people to pay attention to the queries that they write, and like to the queries that they execute, and optimize if needed. And we're looking for an avenue to get people to pay attention to those, I think. So that's the problem we're trying to solve. Getting people to pay attention. And the question is kind of, is error budgets a good way to do it if we need to do this kind of stuff for it?
I think I have a really naive question. This proposal here, this doesn't change the ratio by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by service weight. Could you just expand on this a bit? Like, what's being like, I understand, I guess underneath why you kind of say like, okay, if you're in a quiet period, but maybe I'm missing the bigger picture here. Like,
wait, are you asking why weights or why we want to do this?
Well, first of all, I guess like including service weight in the calculation, you're multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the service weight, right? Which is the same value. So it doesn't change the ratio, right? So like, so to me, like this, like what is actually being changed here?
It does change. Like, think about it as a Prometheus query. So you've got one series with a type and the other series with a type, and the numbers are different for each type.
Yeah. Okay, that's just what I thought. So for I guess for metrics where we don't have as many requests, this helps to balance them out a bit.
We're already doing this right now in our general SLA dashboard. The registry service has a lower weight than the web service, because otherwise everything would look excellent because the registry is doing well, and we'd never know if things were not excellent because, well, the registry outweighs the rest of the services.
Yeah. Okay.
And as to the reason why we want to try out an event-based thing is because like then not every, like a Sunday night will not weigh the same as a Monday morning if we're doing that. Like the numbers are going to be worse than what we currently present on the general SLA dashboard.
So to put it another way, you're sort of like normalizing the number of operations per service, right? Like you're trying to normalize them so that they're on equal footing, right? Does that sound right? Okay.
That sounds right. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's like the initial goal. Like it also is kind of like a lever. I don't know if we're going to like look at, like, we're generally doing this many database queries per request. So we're going to, like, let's say we do 5 times more database queries than we do requests. It's a random number. I don't have no idea. But then like we might say like the database is pretty, like we might not do divided by 5 for database queries just because of that. We might like put it higher or lower depending on the importance of a service, criticality of the service. I don't know.
To me, it makes a lot of sense, and I think this knob will be helpful. Like you said, like for.
But it's for services. A general number. It's for after the fact kind of thing.
Yeah, because basically what you're saying, I mean, what's missing, or what I didn't understand first in this proposal, is that you have many different services that have this ratio, and then each service will have its own service weight. And then when you aggregate all that together, then you're looking at, okay, this is the SLO for the entire I guess, for the
GitLab.com.
web API, or GitLab.com
Yeah.
even, right? And then
Yeah.
these weights help put the individual services, normalize the individual services so that they're more equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my idea, like the initial idea that you read in the last the issue you just had open, was to put a
Yeah.
weight on a service, but now I'm more leaning towards actually putting a weight on a service and or an SLI itself. Like we have monitoring threshold for both. Like you can define the global one on the SLI, but you can also be more specific inside the SLI itself.
What's the, is it like, how are we trying to improve? What are we trying to improve? Like, is this, I understand this is for reporting mostly and for our contractual agreements, maybe with customers.
No, not
no?
contractual. No, not
Oh,
contractual.
okay.
This is for us, and we want to see, like, we want people to pay attention to more things. And
okay, so maybe attribution then. It's sort of like, okay, like, you know, we have budget attribution to particular teams. That's the main reason why we're doing this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So really, like, it's not so important that this rolls up into the top level the SLO for, or the SLA for GitLab.com, right? I mean, like, I guess that's also important, but this is more about the SLAs each stage group or each service has.
Yeah. Yeah, but right now we've mostly got well, we don't have an availability number for each service. We have
well, I'm sorry, maybe the service is overloaded here. Like when I think of service, I either think, I'm thinking web API Git, but you're probably not thinking that, right?
I am.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Because we do have like, we have a dashboard for that, right?
Which one do you mean? Like if you look at
gosh, I must.
Yeah, because I think I can show you the same kind of problem.
This
is the general SLAs. I'm not talking about this. This is the time-based thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Time-based averages. But if you open up, because you are better at screen sharing than me, if you open up the monitoring dashboard, which I've been recently working on.
Oops, not that one.
Service monitoring.
Maybe.
Or service web.
Nope. Okay, so just one of the service dashboards.
Yeah, just one of the.
Okay. Okay, so service web overview.
So the top number there, apdex and error ratio.
Yeah.
Those can also get like muddied by if there's an SLI below there that has way more traffic than another one.
I see.
So that's why I'm saying maybe we should weight those as well. For the web, it's kind of okay because we have like the workhorse thing and Puma, and they're actually kind of the same thing, but they aren't. So if workhorse alone goes bad, we'll know. If Puma alone goes bad, we'll know. Often they go bad together, then we certainly know. But then, for example, image scaler is a bit, special. And this becomes more interesting when you add an SLI. Like the monitoring service is now like a big pile of different things and different services mushed into one. And one of those things that is inside is memcached. So memcached gets quite a lot of traffic in comparison to, for example, Thanos query. So yeah, that's going to muddy the overall line we draw on the top there where your mouse is hovering.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
Yeah,
what kind of view.
This is way out there. I'm not changing that.
It's really, I think it would be useful to work backwards from our dashboards to kind of see what, I know this isn't explicitly for troubleshooting, but, kind of think about what we want to see here first before we, because this will have, like, we'll be updating our dashboards after we make this change, right? Like to have these metrics broken out by service, by, right, or no?
Which this dashboard is a service and it is broken up into
Okay, sorry,
SLIs.
stage, I guess, stage group, like would we have
We have those by stage group already. Like if
off
you
of our overview?
yeah, not from the overview.
Yeah,
But if you open up, go down, scroll down and look at the Rails request SLI details. That's a little bit up. There's an SLI there. Rails request, you've passed it between
Yep,
Puma and
this one?
Workhorse. This one.
Yeah.
And there is already.
Aha, so AppDex.
feature
Oh,
container.
right. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't think I've really looked too closely at this. I see.
So groups also have this dashboard, kind of, that
Yeah.
shows the endpoints that they own. Yeah.
Okay. Nothing to be concerned with here, like, I guess, hopefully not. Like, I don't
No,
know.
that's the attribution. The attribution is like the things that are going bad now. What is causing them? But if it's not
Yeah.
generally that bad, then this could go down when the
Yeah,
general
sure.
graph on the top does not yet.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
No worries, Jarv.
Cool, thank you. And I apologize for hijacking this demo a bit. I'm just kind of curious.
We
about
didn't
this
have anything to talk about, so this was excellent.
Super.
Anybody has something else to share?
Nope.
Then I'll stop the recording.